Hello, everybody. I just will assume that you can hear me. Thank you for having me. It was almost 33 years ago, actually, I left my agency job and started Eardrums as a specialist audio agency. But it's weird. This year, I've been asked one question more than I have in the last 3 decades, and that is, can you help us define our audio strategy? And it's not just because audiences to audio content are growing, not just because of the rise of audio on platforms like TikTok. The shift has been from thinking of audio as a single media channel to thinking of it as a means by which brands can unite and power all the other channels. Another reason are these hunky sons of a gun. Now, I call these guys the guardians of the marketing galaxy. I don't know if you recognize these people. Les Burnett, Peter Field, Mark Ritson, Byron Sharp. Are there any fans of these people out there? I'm sure you know the poster child of children of marketing, the brand Avengers. Um, these guys are a few of the marketing gurus who've been talking up the role of audio and the importance of branding, consistency, and emotion to power both the long and the short term of marketing. Now, these are themes I've already heard you mention all of these things in the last like 10 minutes. So I'm probably going to be summarizing and repeating some things that you've already heard today. But then, so you've got people like Mark Ritson, radio drives a disproportionately large impact for a relatively modest investment. Peter Field, the most effective and efficient campaigns talk to the whole category. The broader the reach, the broader the effects. Now, we know that radio is such a cost-effective way to reach whole category and bring people into market. Then you got Les Binet. Emotion is the most powerful selling tool we have. Thank you, Les. You got love, hate, fear, enjoyment, rage, and other intense feelings. They're all mediated by our amygdala, and the amygdala is extremely sensitive to sound, and it's why human beings have such a strong emotional response to the things we hear. Then you got Byron. Byron talking about saying ads should focus on refreshing and building memory structures rather than persuasion. A study by Mindshare's Neuralab unit concluded that when used in the right way, and by that we mean creative that involves the listener to the extent that you're creative is eliciting images in their heads, audio outperforms many other media channels in driving engagement and breakthrough and recall. So it's no wonder marketers like you are seeing the opportunity to use the strengths of audio to build your brand for the long term while driving short-term sales. And I'd like to pass on a summary of the essential ingredients to building a successful audio strategy based on what I've observed and learned working with our clients over the last 30 years. And I'm going to illustrate a few of these points with some case studies. So these are the 4 C's of a successful audio strategy. The first C word, okay. The first one is codes. Now, you should be able to recognize all of these brands, right? By just this fragment of the logo. And probably a few blokes who are scratching their head about the fourth one along from the top row. It's because you have never brought your partner anything from Tiffany's. So you've been told. But how many of those brands can you actually hear? You know, there's probably 2, right? There's one on the far right on McDonald's. We all can hear that one. Second row, the fragment of the N Netflix logo, we can hear that. But so many of the largest brands on the planet have only just started tapping into sonic branding. I think there was a 20% year-on-year increase in brands commissioning sonic branding in 2022. That's increasing still. And as the media landscape becomes more fractured, the importance of having a distinctive brand code increases. Your ad avoidance continuing to increase, second screening increasing, multitasking increasing, but you can't close your ears, as they always say. So using sonic branding will ensure audiences will know who's talking to them, or at the very least, they'll know who they're ignoring. Audio brand codes will link all your comms, even if the creative is different from channel to channel. A consistent brand voice, brand anthem, audio logo will ensure all your advertising connects to your your TV and your video connect and your TikTok campaign and your YouTube content, your live events, your retail experience, your app opening, they all will have that sort of connection to them. But whatever your marketing mix, sonic branding is also a way to imbue emotion in a matter of seconds at every touch point along the customer journey. This Ipsos Power of You study, I'm sorry if I'm blocking this with my big, huge bonce, it showed how much branded attention, which is the red graph, is generated for brands with sonic assets, which is the first bar, way higher than the branded attention generated by colors, fonts, or visual logos, which obviously every brand has. And that's the opportunity. That's where sonic branding can increase your brand linkage and recall. The way it did for TikTok. Our sonic branding sister agency in your part of the world is Massive Music, and they recently completed the sonic branding for TikTok. And I think I've just triggered the endorphin hit for every Gen Z in the room. The stats are, there we go, are off the chart. 81% global recognition awareness score. I mean, basically, it's the most rapidly recognized sonic brand of all time because of just the take up and the sheer scale of the platform and the fact that it's on every piece of content that's shared. Then you've got brands like Colgate. When you have a behemoth like Colgate adopting sonic branding for the first time, also through our friends at Massive Music in London, you know Colgate will have done their research.
Colgate's most powerful antibacterial protection that works for 12 hours non-stop.
So the different sort of arrangements for different products within Colgate's range are being rolled out at the moment. And incredible results again, 52% spontaneous recognition within 6 months of launch. So brand codes will also save you on music costs. In Australia, we've just created this brand anthem for Optus, one of the largest telcos. And instead of paying for licensed tracks or composing for each campaign, we are just rearranging their brand anthem for each context. And if you're in Australia, you'd be hearing that absolutely everywhere. So sonic branding will help you add impact and help attribution across all the touch points and maximize every second of your media buy, helping you differentiate within your category, but be distinctive across all the media landscapes. Okay, our next C word, consistency. And I also heard this earlier crop up. All the most effective audio campaigns in history, Bud Light's, Real Men of Genius, Burger King's Confusing Times, the list goes on. And our most effective campaigns over the years have a consistent format. And according to Uncle Peter Field, even at low budgets, effectiveness can be improved by increasing the campaign duration and utilizing more media channels. So consistency is so key, and sticking with a consistent framework and structure. Here's a quick montage of some of the ads we've been making for our client, Macquarie Bank, over the last 5 years. The bank now uses audio as its lead medium. They can't compete with all the big banks on TV, so they dominate radio and podcasts instead. Using the same platform idea that we developed for audio now has been taken into the out-of-home and online video. Each ad features a different customer and talks about a different product that their customer has been attracted to. Follows the same structure. Here are 3 different intros, and which you hear the similarity of each ad, and then 2 of the outros.
Meet Deb. Decent job, knows how to save, and doesn't stretch herself too far. A first-rate customer. Meet Todd.
Hey.
Works hard, pays his bills on time, and has built up equity in his home. In other words, a good borrower.
Yeah.
Meet Phoebe.
Hey.
With her savings growing, she asked her old bank for an account that punched a little harder.
And here's some outros.
And apply online so you can say,
I bank with Macquarie.
the home of good borrowers. Search Macquarie Home Loans or call your broker and say,
I bank with Macquarie.
the home of good borrowers.
So the ads are kept interesting because each time it's a different character, but the structure's the same. You hear the first word, meet Fiona, meet Steve, you know it's a Macquarie ad. This makes it really easy for the listeners to know who's talking to them. It's not the same idea, at least use the same language and make sure your language for your radio ad is in your podcast host read or your sponsorship credit. So consistency is so important. You don't have the crutch of a pack shot, so you need to build memory structures in another way. And Macquarie has this really clear audio strategy, which is why they're doubling down on it. Okay, next ingredient, a consolidation. And that's sort of if you're, having a consolidated media plan. Les Burnett, if you set your share of voice above your share of market, you should achieve growth. So too many advertisers dabble in audio or end up spreading themselves too thin. And audio is one of the few mediums your brand can actually dominate the environment. So just by being the most regular brand in your category, that advertiser on that chosen station or podcast, listeners will have this elevated perception of you. A client of ours, Explore Worldwide, were spreading themselves too thin. Their point of difference was their local tour guides all have unique knowledge and insights about the places you're visiting. So we created a campaign structure where the local tour guide leads the listener to a place only they know about. Here's an example.
Buonasera, my name is Marcello. I am a tour leader with Explore. Ciao. Come, follow me. Behind this 200-year-old gate is the best view of one of Rome's finest fountains. Ah, bellissima. Look at the Renaissance detail, the sunlight in the bronze. Not everyone knows about Turtle Fountain, but you will if you explore. Search exploreworldwide.com.au and don't just travel, explore.
Okay, and here's one quick one from to show you the structure.
Namaskaram, my name is Nayad. I'm a tour leader with Explore. Come, follow me for a breakfast you will never forget. Namaste. Because you are going to make an incredible masala dosa under the watchful eye of my mom. Kya baat hai, ma? Each home adds their special touches. But not everyone gets to join in a traditional family meal. You will if you explore. For global adventures, search exploreworldwide.co.uk and don't just travel, explore.
So Explore now have an audio strategy. The creative really is so distinctive, and they are also doubling down on audio because they can dominate that medium. Okay, next C word is creatives. Now, I would say this. Listeners are constantly zoning in and out. We have this mental skip ad button in our minds. We're counting down 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Is this interesting at all? Your creative has the greatest impact on the success of your campaign. So an experienced creative knows how listeners listen. They know that you lean in to talk back and podcasts and breakfast radio. You lean back for music radio. The importance of making the listener the co-author and the importance of cut through. As David Ogilvy said, don't just bunt, aim for the out of the ballpark, aim for the company of immortals. This ad aimed high and achieved that cut through.
Okay, Bradley, tell the class about your holidays.
Yeah, it was really good. My dad built us a new kitchen. It's got wooden bench tops and some stupid self-closing drawers. There was a dishwasher that was a real and even a breakfast bar. Mum thought Dad was a massive.
Get a kitchen installed without teaching your kids new words. Visit ikea.com.au. We can plan, deliver and install the whole thing for you.
Now, as fun as that ad is, and it's probably our most awarded ad, we wouldn't put that in a podcast, but we needed to get the cut through in a radio ad, so in a radio context. So that was the point of that ad, and a brave client to go with it. Podcast ads, on the other hand, need to fit in, not stand out. So this is how we approach a podcast ad for ANZ, one of the banks we work with. And the character that you'll hear is someone who's regularly featured in their TV ads as well. And he acknowledges the fact that ANZ have supported this podcast, but it really blends in.
You know, ANZ don't just support podcasts like this. They support business owners like me. They just get how into our business as we are. And yeah, even though work and play can sometimes get a bit tangled up, our finances don't have to be. With an ANZ Business Essentials account, you can finally separate your personal from your work expenses, which is a big help at tax time. To learn more, search ANZ Business Essentials and you could open an account in minutes. T's and C's, eligibility criteria, fees and charges may apply. Consider if it's right for you.
There's a bit of heavy lifting in that ad, but it gets you in the beginning. It just draws you in saying, yeah, I'm listening to this podcast like you. I've seen firsthand the way a brand can completely change their attitude toward audio as soon as they hear a campaignable idea. Hendrix is one of them. I'm going to play you with an example of what they were running before we got hold of them. This is an example from one of their old ads.
Why is that door making such a racket? Shall we see? Look, it's a world of wondrous delights. Don't be alarmed, stranger. Just keep your eyes peeled for the peculiar, and let curiosity guide you towards your refreshing encounter. An intriguing gin, oddly infused with rose and cucumber. Hendrix Gin.
Oh my God. I mean, that's what the listener hears, but what the listener sees is this guy. It's just like this awful, sleazy bloke. I don't understand what the rationale with that ad was. But anyway, we managed to crack their formula, and now they've run the campaign that we made for them globally. Here's an example which takes that kind of verdant look and feel that Hendrix have in their visuals into the audio space, and really just dials into the cues and the time of day for you to have a first drink. And cucumber, which is such a big part of Hendrix advertising.
And your Hendrix Gin, sir.
Thank you. So why the cucumber?
Well, it's really quite simple. The cucumber cues the refreshment of a post-sauna ocean dip. It cues the taste of a linen suit in a bar of Baldies. It cues the fragrance of cut grass under manicured toes. Sir, to cue the cumber is to cue the summer.
Right.
For a refreshingly curious way to cue the first drink of summer, cue a Hendrix Gin. Oh, and always drink the unusual responsibly.
And just to dial in the occasion time.
5 p.m. Hendrix Gin, madam?
Well, it is that time.
Cue the aroma. Cue the botanicals. Cue the taste. Cue the cumber.
I see.
For a refreshingly curious way to cue the first drink of summer, cue a Hendrix Gin, oddly infused and garnished with cucumber. 5 p.m.
Cue the Hendrix.
And always drink the unusual responsibly.
And it's probably still too early for you to be drinking responsibly. So I'm going to summarize very quickly and on to the 4 C's. Codes. Just the sonic branding unites your communications, builds brand attribution. Consistency makes your brand easier to spot and identify, gives you that long-term brand effect. Consolidation, dominate audio in your category and improve salience. And creative. Please, the last thing that you remember from this session, the last C word is creative. You need to know who is writing, producing, and casting your ads. Then you'll only then you'll know that you're going to be able to improve the chances of getting it all right. I have raced through this, but I've already gone 3 or 4 minutes over. I hope that's been useful. Thank you for putting up with my massive head on this huge screen. Have a good rest of the session, and I think I will be joining you for some Q&A in a sec.